In this session, I want to delve a bit deeper into the world of the artist's pencil and unravel the significance of the different grades. I want to look at the number and the letter at the end of the pencil as an indicator of its lead grade, determining both the hardness and the darkness. Contrary to the misconceptions, lead pencils don't actually contain any lead. Instead, they're crafted from a mixture of graphite and a clay binder. Graphite, being naturally soft, dark and shiny, takes centre stage. The more clay binder added, the harder and lighter the pencil becomes. Take this graphite grading scale ranging from 4H to 8B, for instance. What do the letters mean? H stands for hardness. It indicates a harder and lighter pencil, ideal for rough outlines and sketches. They're easy to erase. However, be cautious, as harder pencils can scratch and indent the paper if pressed too firmly. B stands for blackness, representing a softer and darker pencil. A higher B number produces softer and darker values, perfect for adding depth and dimensions to drawings. However, these pencils may smudge and may be harder to erase. HB stands for hard and black, and it sits in the middle of the scale and is commonly used at school for writing. It provides a dark enough line to read, is less likely to smudge, and it's easy to erase. F, or fine point, indicates a pencil that can sharpen to a really fine point while still producing darker tones. It's slightly lighter and harder than an HB pencil. It's crucial to note there are no industry standards for grades, so different brands may produce different results. Now, I'm going to like to show you a couple of exercises to get to know the pencils. The ones I'm using are from a local supply store and cost the same as a cup of coffee. These aren't super high quality, but they are still versatile. With art supplies, you do tend to get what you pay for, but when you're starting out, get what you can afford. A couple of things to note though is how you sharpen your pencils. Cheap pencils and cheap sharpeners will probably lead to broken leads. If the sharpener is blunt, as you turn it, it will catch and it will break the lead. So let's explore the full scale graphite pencils. I'm using a range from 4H to 8B, and I'm going to demonstrate how softer, darker values tend to shine more than the lighter ones. Soft pencils may reveal more texture in the paper, while harder pencils can fill the paper's texture more with a smoother transition. What you'll need for this exercise is a selection of pencils and a piece of white paper, and I'm using A3.
So in this exercise, we're going to create a tonal scale using a set of pencils. I'm going to be looking at the world of shading and tone. So the first thing I'm going to do is create myself a rectangle, long thin rectangle, and I'm going to split that into roughly 4 equal parts. I'm using a 4H pencil in the left-hand section. I'm going to shade this in as lightly as possible. It's very gently shading from left to right. In the second box, I'm putting about a third of the amount of pressure, of full pressure in, which is going a tone darker. In the fourth box, about 2/3 of the pressure. And I'm moving left to right to try and just give an understanding of as closely together to give a nice even tone across. Then the final box, it's as hard as I possibly can without breaking the lead. And there is my first section of tone with the 4H pencil. On to the next one. Underneath it, again, splitting it into 4 equal sections. You should notice with this pencil, it'll be ever so slightly darker. And again, on the left-hand box, very lightly. The second box, about a third of the pressure I can put in. The third box, 2/3 of the pressure. And then finally, in the last box, as hard as I can without breaking the pencil lid. And I'm going to continue this down through my pencil range. As you start to use the different pencils, you should start to feel the difference of the amount of graphite coming in from the clay binder. So the 4H has a lot of clay binder in, and as it goes down the scale, that additional graphite gives it that darker tone. You'll feel the way on the paper the pencil's starting to get into all of the little, almost into the pores of the paper. This is the HB pencil. This is a really versatile pencil. It can get a good range of lights and darks. It also doesn't smudge too much, which is why you find schools use it for young kids. The increased amount of graphite down the scale means that you will be able to smudge more easily. This is the F pencil, which is a fine point, which can be sharpened to quite a fine point, and it goes quite light and dark, which is a great pencil for sketching with. Sometimes this is darker than the HB and sometimes it's lighter, but they're pretty similar in value. And you just continue this process through the whole scale and kind of just enjoy the feeling of the pencils, getting to know what it's like. It's really good to do this if you get a new set of pencils, actually, to see what they can do compared to a different brand. And also it's quite good just to do as a warm-up exercise as well. And I'm just going to continue this on through to 8B. Fast forward to 8B. So you can feel as you go through the Bs, as you get to that last 8B, the graphite is really coming off. There's bits of dust everywhere. But that's fine. It's kind of a really lovely part of drawing, the different unexpected marks that you can make with a pencil. So there you have it. By experimenting with different pencil grades and varying pressure levels, you can create your own tonal scale, ranging from the lightest whispers to the darkest shadows. I hope you enjoyed that. We're going to do a second part to this exercise where we're going to draw cubes and use the 4 tones that we've just done here with each pencil to create another kind of scale for you.